and welcome to News Up.
Good afternoon, SLBC. Good afternoon to viewer.
Now, before we start talking about the kind of food given to the inmates, let's talk about the release of this inmate. What are some of the criteria?
Well, it's simple. First of all, the presidential pardon is not done out of the compass of the legal framework in this country. If you look at the 1991 Constitution of Sierra Leone, Act number 6, Section 40, subsection 4, paragraph E, gives the president the prerogative of mercy power, And if you look at section 63 of the same constitution, it gives birth to the prerogative of mercy committee that is chaired by the vice president of this country and also encompasses other highly placed people in society in the committee, such as the Director General of the Sierra Leone Correctional Service, the Inspector General of Police, the Minister of Internal Affairs, the head of the Office of National Security, head of CISU, head of CID, the Attorney General, etc. So it is such that we, the Sierra Leone Correctional Service, come up with recommended names, which is eventually reduced to a list of names that we send to the Prerogative of Mercy Committee to have a look at it. But the criteria that we put, for an inmate to be recommended for the presidential pardon is such that the inmate is an inmate who did not commit a felonious crime but a misdemeanor. There are two types of crimes, felonies and misdemeanors. Felonies are serious and high crimes in society, such as murder, for example, and misdemeanors are petty crimes, such as frequenting traffic violations.
Now, what about attempted treason? Which category does that fall?
Attempted treason falls under felony. It's a felonious crime.
And that individual should not be given pardon.
What are you driving at? I do not understand.
What I'm trying to say is I want to know the category or the manner in which the opposition politician Alfred Paulo Conte was released.
Well, we were not keeping any opposition politician. We were keeping an individual like we kept every other individual that was granted the presidential pardon. So as I was saying, we more often than not we consider those who commit misdemeanors.
So on which basis
on our own part
released?
As an institution? I'm coming, please. Let me land. On our own part as an institution, that is what we do, and forward the list to the Prerogative of Mercy Committee. That is not done and dusted. The committee can look at that list and send it back to us and say, we are not satisfied with this list. You have sent 300 names to us. We want this list to be scissored from 300 to 250. Or they can say, we want added number to this list. We want you to make it 250. Because we are the ones dealing with the clientele, who are the inmates, and not the Prerogative of Mercy Committee. So we know them better. So if such things happen, we know how we go about reducing the number of people that we recommended or adding the number of people that we recommended based on the feedback that we get from the Prerogative of Mercy Committee. And the Prerogative of Mercy Committee meets at least 3 times. It is a multi-layered process. It does not just happen from out of the blues. It has to go through series of bureaucratic processes before it eventually gets back to us for execution. As for the issue that you're raising, that we release one inmate whom the public is thinking that we shouldn't have released him based on certain reasons. That's why it's called the Prerogative of Mercy. It is a special kind of right that is vested in the president, and it is a discretionary right. No one has the right to question the president as to why he has taken such a decision. It is constitutional right, and he has decided to exercise it, and he has instructed us to let him walk out of our gates, and we have only followed instructions.
Okay, now let's go up to the kind of food given to inmates. There is an allegation by some of the released inmates that they're not so happy with the kind of food, but from what I heard from one of our sisters program is that actually they have the food, but there is this problem of how to prepare the food.
Well, we have professional cooks in our different correctional centers, and I know that issue emanate specifically from the Pademba Correctional Center, which in all honesty is not reflective of the nation as a whole, because we have 21 correctional centers, of which Pademba is just one. But we have professional cooks, and another thing the public needs to understand is the fact that the Pademba Correctional Center is jam-packed with a lot of inmates. It is the maximum correctional center. Imagine you cooking every day for up to 2,000 inmates on a daily basis. It is a very rigorous and difficult process. I was in the interview this morning when they were asking the inmates, you know, he said the food usually comes in, they see the condiments and those kinds of things. But at the end of the day, it is not particularly visible in their plate. I do not want to believe that is true, because this is the same food that they cook at the Pademba Correctional Center that the Director General of the Sierra Leone Correctional Service partakes of once in a while. Even I sit in here, I get to partake of the food once in a while. The truth is, maybe it is not what they want us to prepare that we are preparing for them. You know, there's the saying, one man's food is another man's poison. There is something that I will eat that will torment me, and you eat it, it will not torment you.
No, even as prisoners, they have the right to food, and to good food.
Yes, definitely. The food they prepare for them is not bad food. It is not poison. It is good food. Otherwise, all of them would have been dead by now.
Now, okay. Now, before you could tell us what is the standard of food given to them, because you might call it a good food, but to them it isn't. So let's know the standard of food given to them. Is it a balanced diet or something?
When you speak of balanced diet, you're referring to food. You're referring to all sort of food. What we provide to them is the staple food in Sierra Leone, which is rice, and the sauce, which can either be cassava leaves, green, crane, you know, potato leaves, tola, etc. Those are the kinds of dish we prepare for them, including the rice, because rice is our staple food. 99% of people in Sierra Leone eat rice. So that's the kind of food we provide to them, and in the morning hours they get to drink tea and eat bread. Okay,
thank you very much for being part of a News Hour.
Thank you for having me this afternoon.
Well, he is Leslie Kochalas, the Public Relations Officer of the Sierra Leone Correctional Service. The Executive Director of